In today's episode, we're going to be fighting a lot with technology, so here's just a quick little intro, and any use of copyrighted characters is fair use because we're not replacing the actual game, and blah 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 blah, and on with the video. Sexy printer. Look at these little walls and the filling. Screw hole there is. Look at the flange for the mids. I put separators between each mid, but I left the chambers together, but to break up the standing waves, distributed the sizes. Had just one standing wave with the 4 drivers and no inner divider. It was a good little suck out, but narrow enough that it didn't affect tonality. I just didn't correct for it. Oh yeah, we're getting pretty low on our first spool, but this is maybe a bit of material there left. But I'm sort of getting maybe, I'm just going to guess, 1.5 speaker boxes per roll, around 28 bucks. So it's almost like a $19 material for each speaker box prototype. If I'm printing like thick and making sure the walls are sturdy. That's the fun of this stuff. It's like 12 hours, like it's not immediate. But I guess you have to enjoy the parts of it that you can, and it's a different kind of thing that I'm used to. Waiting around for shit. I'm impatient. And that was that. The honeymoon was over. My first failed print. Anyway, we had to keep going. I thought I'd just pull these speakers apart whilst I sort out my dramas with the printer. So while I've got this print, which didn't work, it's still big enough for me to try the baffle and still have a listen open baffle while I'm printing the remainder or the other half. Here's just an update for all you noobs out there with my 3D printing chronicles. I've almost reached the end of this layer, roll, and I've got another roll ready to go, and this machine auto switches rolls. But the main problem is I've been having a lot of headaches with this CF carbon fibre filled PETG, and it's basically in the form of these little lumps and things, and how when it lays down they don't fully touch sometimes. And I've tried like different AI advice, and Gemini was crap because we went through about 5 different tests, and all it did was slow down the head and heat things up, and it still did this. And now with ChatGPT, it's told me to put more flow and put the lines closer together. But I'm almost at the stage where I'm going to give up with this material as a print option. Even though I got a few prints out of it, I just don't think, maybe it's the brand or whatever, but I don't like this material. So I'm going to switch maybe to normal PETG or some other kind of PLA that can withstand high temperature. Alright, rant over, back to the normal programming. Alright, this is the prototype that failed on the printer twice, or 3 times over 48 hours. And so the top half, it just stopped with a mess. Then I had to get a new nozzle, and for some reason it just didn't play ball. And it's got a lot of layer adhesion problems. See, it splits at different places. And then halfway through this print it got good, but the back end is pretty crappy. But it's okay because I'm just trying these acoustic ideas for each prototype, so it's not going to be a big problem at the end of the day. I tried the screw system, it's quite okay, except for this one pulled out. That one was freestanding, whereas the rest of them are in a wall area. See how there's walls everywhere? And that last one's just in a void. And then this one goes on the left side of the cabin in the footwell, passenger footwell. And I haven't really played with angles yet. This is just, proof of concept kind of stuff. And this one has the new inner separator, because we had a 4-driver cancellation kind of thing going on. And if it remains in this one, then it turns out it's probably not the 4 drivers, it's the fact that it's a square. But technically these are like small bandpass chambers, so they don't go all the way to the end. And so there'll be 4 different sizes, and we might get 4 different resonances. You don't know. But we're going to have a look once we get it together. Yeah, this side's alright, it survives the screwing. This side is a bit, how you doing? There's the spinny one. We're good, we'll keep going. This is just the wiring phase. I've got the series negative to positive on this pair, and negative to positive on this pair, and then I'm just tying the last remaining negative from here to here to here that goes out, and this other negative will also come to here as well, so I've got to get that across. Okay, here's a live lid fitment, and one of these supports, I tried to glue them back on, but that was a failed mission. And these should just fit snug on the magnet. And the final design probably have a more, just put a silicone dab around it or something when it's finished. That's pretty good. Given that this back is crap because the printing failed. We're just going to have a quick measure and a listen. Can I help you? So this is kind of all done. I put a bit of this tape. It's kind of like a double-sided butyl rubber tape, but I just kept one of the sides on. That's just so I didn't have to put any epoxies or glues or hot melt. What do you call it? 3D pen, just to keep that main air gap done. The failed screw hole was done. The failed back is a failed back. We're just concentrating on the front, which came out solid. So that'll give us 98% of what we're trying to listen for anyway. And let's stick it in. Here's your lovely measurement. So the green was the first prototype on the right. This one, and as you can see, there was a 718 Schloppy suckout, which I didn't EQ back in. I just treated it like it was a shelf going along like there. And my theory was not so much the cabin shape, but all the distances from this one to the wall back to this one, and this one to the wall back to this one, and etc. Because when I measured, this one had the suck out, this one had the suck out, this one had the suck out, and this one didn't. So I'm thinking this is the one that amplified itself and then cancelled on those three. And so then I put in the separator baffle, which didn't go to the edge. It was like a 0.5 centimetre off touching the inner wall. And so basically I ended up with 4 different shape enclosures. And it did get rid of the suck out, because the red line is now that left box down there, and that has the dividers in it. And you can see one other difference straight away. So suck out gone, but we no longer have a different bass response from this enclosure, because all of those 4 enclosures are now, even though they're slightly vented, are smaller. So instead of each driver seeing the 230mm square insides, they're seeing, you know, almost a quarter of that. And but it's still a flat usable response. Would I like that extra 5-6 dB, whatever, at 200 down to 100, because it's all of that gap in there? Yes, I would like all that extra, but so far it's giving us a natural 300 now instead of that lovely peaky hump, and you could still say you're getting 200. Yeah, so there's another design consideration to consider, and maybe there's another way I can get rid of that green suck out, and I might try lots of open cell and closed cell foam in this one, and all I have to do is peel that apart. I probably don't have to print another one, so I just have to crack it open and try this one with stuffing and see if we don't get the bass response back, say the best of both worlds. So that was a worthwhile experiment, and it's okay to listen to. I could probably say, because my 8 inches are overwhelmingly playing this up to 2K anyway, that I'm not missing a lot of that frequency as far as the balance is concerned. But there's other things I am hearing, like the extra baffle portion over here on the left, which I wasn't getting with my old prototype. So now I have even baffles that I'm listening to. So this whole sound stage of this whole area I can listen to and appreciate the balance and the depth and the I guess the joininess or narrowness of parts that are placed in the soundstage. So I'm going to have a bit more listen. Here's the B-roll of the AI fail clips, and just to let you know, the listening impressions will be in other videos, and I did end up working out my problems with the filament. So catch you guys later on the next one.